I would like to talk to you today about my personal journey of recent years, including changing my relationship with alcohol and the benefits I unlocked from that. I chose to stop drinking in 2020. My life is better in so many ways that I feel like I have to share the experience with as many people as I can find. It's important to note I am not anti-alcohol, but I am pro-information. And what I want to do over the next 20 minutes is share with you information that I've learned or experienced over the last 5 years. And then what you do with that is up to you. Changing your relationship with alcohol might mean you just learn more. It might mean you choose to stop, take a break, or cut down, or none of the above. I'm here for all of that. If you would like to talk some more, please get in touch. I can go into more detail about what I'm about to share. It all sounds very serious, but hopefully we can have some fun along the way. The first part, my story, I call waking up. And it begins when I realized I'd had enough. A voice in my head said, "You don't have to drink today." That sounds very obvious. No one's making me drink. But for me, and I think for millions of people like me, maybe some of you, it isn't quite that easy. You're not in deep addiction. You're not teetotal. It's somewhere in between there, called a gray area or the middle lane. And maybe you have a nagging feeling that you might be drinking too much. For me, what was nagging, the feeling that was on my mind, is that it was affecting my health. I was overweight. I'd made some decisions, lots of decisions actually, based around alcohol and the ability to get a hold of it. I resented when I couldn't have a drink for reasons of work or responsibility. And so I really wanted to stop. But it had got to the point where, I run marathons a lot and I drank the night before the marathon and felt like that was fuel. And I drank as soon as I'd finished as a reward. Sometimes I drank on the finish line. They very often have a finishers party. Crazy. And I woke up one morning, this is the summer months of 2020, and I told myself, a voice told me, "You don't have to drink today." I'm lying in bed, barely awake. It's like someone tapped me on the shoulder and told me that. And actually, what was going on, I was admitting to myself that for all of my adult life, I thought I did have to drink every day. I just assumed it was an inescapable part of my life. And at that moment, I knew I could no longer put off making a change and that I owned and controlled the ability to make change. Couldn't control alcohol, but I could control what I did about it. I had taken breaks before this. I'd done 30 days, 60, I'd done 90 days. And by the way, I celebrated each of those successful alcohol-free periods with uh, the best alcohol I could find. I didn't think at the time that it was going to be forever. I just thought I was taking another 30, 60, 90-day break. I can't remember. And anyway, let me just explain how I got here. They say in the movies I should explain how I found myself here. So just for a moment, the problem for me began very, very young, very early. I grew up with beer almost as part of the family. Now, it's my choice to drink too much as a grown-up, but I had a pretty good map and some directions as to how to get there. Um, three stories from childhood. One, my dad used to tell me that when he was young and a young man, he would order at the bar 3 pints of beer. One he would drink down in one instantly. The second one he would then drink while the bartender was pouring the other drinks that he was ordering for his friends, whatever. And then the third drink he would take back to the table with him. So he'd get back to the table, 2 drinks ahead. Guess what I started to do when I first was old enough to drink? Second thing, we used to live near a pub, and actually we lived in pubs. We ran them, and also one house we lived near pubs. And Dad used to joke that the car wheels were broken, so they would just turn into the car park of the pub always. They couldn't get straight to our house; they had to turn. But lighthearted, but those stories all add up. Dad also taught me how to uh, order drinks at the bar and confidently understand what was in a cocktail, how to open a champagne bottle, all that kind of stuff. Drinking was one big component of what it meant to be a man, man's man, what Dad called it. Um, on one school trip, we went to a hop farm, and hops are the ingredients for beer. And we went into the oast house where they dry the hops and start to process them. I took a big full of air and said, "Wow, this smells like home. It smells like beer." Um, I took all of this into adult life with gusto. I was first at a bar. I ordered 3 drinks so I could keep ahead. Um, and I don't want to get into other stories of how much I drank because they're not going to be your stories. You know, you're going to think they're tame. You're going to think they're outrageous. They're just going to be different from yours. And the crazy stories doesn't is not why I gave up. And I didn't hit a rock bottom. I had just had enough. Every day, in the seconds after I opened my eyes, I did a quick mental calculation, a quick inventory of what was going to happen over the next 12, 18 hours. So when could I drink? What was my freedom to choose what I drank? Um, that's not good, but it's not a rock bottom. And that was day in, day out. It was relentless until this metaphorical tap on the shoulder had me waking up to the fact that I drank too much. Again, if you're confused or you're conflicted or you're wondering, just get in touch. I'd be very happy to tell you more about that story or to ask you questions about, where you are in your story. Because you're going to be listening to this thinking, I wonder if I'm drinking too much. How do I know if I'm drinking too much? Well, for me, I'd wanted to stop drinking since I was 20. And I stopped drinking when I was about 45. So that's a long time of wondering, a lot of friction in that life. When I was 20, I went to counseling because I thought in my university days, I'm drinking too much. But I didn't stop then. First of all, because the counselor actually told me he didn't promote abstinence. And then I didn't stop because it's addictive, there's a ton of social pressure, there's all these stories that we tell ourselves about the importance of alcohol in our life. It's in all the movies. And I had tried all kinds of things on my own. I tried just drinking low calorie alcohol. Never went through with that. I tried only drinking when I went out and socialized. So no drink at home. That never worked. It lasted a day or two before I would crack open a beer after work. And then actually I tried for a while drinking only at the weekends, and that did work for a bit. It did confine my drinking. It gave me some days off, and it might work for you. For me, first of all, Saturday and Sunday soon became Friday night, Friday lunchtime. Like I expanded the weekend. And secondly, I was cramming a lot of drinking into that time as a reward for not drinking the other days. Again, I didn't look at the days off as the reward. I looked at the days of drinking as a reward. And if I asked my body, my liver, my brain, it would have been exactly the opposite. So you can't really ask yourself, back to the question, how much is too much? But you kind of have to ask yourself, why are you asking? Am I drinking too much? Why do I want to know what is too much? Can you stop drinking for a day, 2 days, a week, a month? Can you stop for as long as you like without any concern, any side effects? Have you had too much to drink in the last month? Have you been drunk? Have you done things you regretted? Have you made bad decisions based on while drinking alcohol? Have you ever Googled what is an alcoholic? Am I an alcoholic? Have you ever attended a talk by someone talking about the benefits of alcohol free living? So there's a spectrum: addiction, teetotal. And some of you, especially over here, if you've never drunk or if you only drink once in a month, once in a while, you probably don't know what I'm talking about. But it's that group in the middle, people like me who probably relate to some of the things that I'm saying. And again, the key factor for me, I was thinking about drinking the moment I woke up until I woke up in a different way at the tap on the shoulder. And I changed my story. What did I do? So here's what I put alcohol in a box. I made alcohol a subject that I could finally be curious about without having to believe it was an integral part of my life. I used a group. I had a virtual group that I used to stop. I did 30, 60, 90-day dry spells. Um, I listened to a lot of podcasts. I put a lot of physical exercise into my life, lots of cycling, lots of running that filled time, helped me to get fit and to accelerate some of the physical benefits of not drinking. I investigated AA, clearly wasn't for me. Um, I read a lot, books, blog posts, online information, and I realized five things. So five things really occurred to me pretty early on, but I want to share with you very quickly. Number one, there's no such thing as a safe amount to drink, which, if you put it another way, means the only safe amount to drink is zero drinks because you can't tell how much is too much for a person. It depends on your individual characteristics, height, weight, gender, physical condition, which includes things like the day of the menstrual cycle. So you're never going to find a magic number that gives you permission to drink a certain amount from any health authorities. Even when you see, like the US government will tell you one drink for women in a day is a recommended low risk amount. Two drinks for men, but then when you add it up, no more than eight drinks a week for women, no more than 15 drinks a week for men. And again, the specific wording for the NHS in the UK, it's called low risk rather than safe because there is no safe drinking level. Number two, related, think about driving. There is no safe drink driving limit in the UK. Everyone knows the number 0.08 because that's the blood alcohol content above which you are breaking the law and you will be arrested for suspicion of driving under the influence. But alcohol um, suppresses your brain functions, and any amount of alcohol is dangerous for your health and dangerous for your controlling a big piece of mechanical equipment like a car. There is no safe limit, and the fact that we negotiate with ourselves, as I did for years, is a sign that there's a problem there, a big societal problem. But it's a problem if you can't go out and say, "I'm not drinking. I'm not going to have anything." If you say, "I'll have one, I'll have two, how many can I have?" That's the problem. Working out, and this is related. Number three, working out what a standard drink is incredibly difficult. Standard drink contains 10 grams of alcohol. That's actually the equivalent of coincidentally the amount that you can process in an hour, right? So if a pint of beer is two standard drinks, a half a pint of beer is a standard drink. Pint of beer is two drinks. That's 2 hours of processing that drink before you are free. Your body's free of alcohol. 10 grams of alcohol. What does it look like? It's a beer in the US. It's a glass of wine in Japan. It's a third of a drink in Russia. Good luck working out how much you're actually drinking when you're out in a bar on the fly. Number four, the big one. Cancer is a feature, not a bug. By that, I mean cancer is built into the experience of your body processing alcohol. Your liver produces acetaldehyde. That is a carcinogen. So there is no negotiation around your body having to process a carcinogenic substance every time you drink alcohol. One piece of research said that 10 grams of alcohol per day, one drink, is the equivalent to smoking 10 cigarettes a day. Look what's happened to our awareness of smoking and the harms on our body over the last several decades. The worst thing about this is it's been known for decades. I'm going to quote you the International Agency for Research here on cancer. Excuse me. Alcohol is a toxic, psychoactive, dependence-producing substance and has been classified as a Group 1 carcinogen decades ago. This is the highest risk group, which includes asbestos, radiation, tobacco. So put alcohol to one side for a minute and ask yourself, how much asbestos would you put up with in your house, in your children's bedrooms? How many cigarettes do you smoke? How many cigarettes do you enjoy breathing in passively from other people? What is the percentage of risk? You may say, there are many things I do in my life that put me at risk. This one is a small risk, and I'm going to therefore drink this many drinks. Great. I didn't know any of that, and I want to make sure I'm sharing this information. It's been known since the 1980s that the risk of cancer, the most common cancer, seven types of cancer, including the most common, bowel cancer, breast cancer. The risk of cancer increases by 4 to 13% for every 10 grams of alcohol consumed. That's every drink consumed, basically. And remember, there is no safe drink. Alcohol is alcohol. Beer, wine, spirits, mixers, whatever it is you're drinking, the alcohol process in your body is exactly the same. Last thing, number five, alcohol does not actually relax you. It's very possible that your body is feeling the effects of the withdrawal of the alcohol that you have previously consumed. And by consuming more alcohol, you negate those effects. So alcohol is only undoing the damage it has done to you. That's why you're feeling relaxed. And yes, there is obviously effects on your brain, basically like an anesthetic, that do indeed subdue some emotions, some feelings. So you are going to feel relaxed. But very often, it's undoing the damage it has done to you. It has lied to you. It's very much like smoking. Smoking a cigarette does not relax you. Smoking a cigarette replaces the nicotine that losing had you feeling stressed. So it's undoing the damage it's done to you. When I realized like this, it was like a Wizard of Oz moment. So what can you do about this? Well, let me give you like seven tips, tricks, things that you can ask yourself as you think about alcohol and changing your relationship. Number one, why do you want to change your relationship? I can tell you how. I can give you a roadmap of what to do, but I can't tell you why it's important to you. And having that why, knowing that why, is going to be important when you reach tests along the road, right? When someone says, come on, just a half a pint, it won't matter. If you've made a decision and you've committed to it based on a deep personal reason, some of that stuff becomes much, much easier. Number two, talk to someone about it. Find a friend, talk to me, talk to someone who will just let you describe it. When I did this, I used to run with a friend every Sunday morning, and on the runs, I would talk about this. Talking about made it feel more manageable, but it also made me realize that I had to do something. It kind of made it more serious and more manageable at the same time. Think about where the alcohol is in your house, right? If you wanted to take a break, or if you wanted to make a change. If it's in your house, for some people, it's in your mouth. The link between availability and consumption is inevitable. For me, actually, it's not. There's alcohol in the house now, and there has been since I've stopped. I'm not interested anymore, but everyone has a different way of approaching this. Number four, think about how you learn. Do you learn through podcasts, audiobooks, magazines, people, TV shows, whatever it is? Find some content that goes over everything I just said in the detail that you want in a way that's good for you, because learning gives you more tools in your toolkit. Um, where is alcohol in your routine? If you want to cut it out, or if you want to avoid certain days, think about it. Again, for me, I can be in the middle of a bar right now with a group of my best friends, all drinking. Doesn't interest me at all. It might be a big trigger, depending on memory and habit and all that sort of thing. So just think about that. I was lucky enough, by the way, that I quit during lockdown. Think about it, 2020, when I stopped, no one was going out. Many pubs were closed. So I had it easy. But I think people need to actively think about that. Number seven, think about a challenge you could take up. Could you do a hobby? Could you do something physical like a marathon, or some sort of race, or physical time based challenge, such that if someone asks you to have a drink, or if you're tempted, you might think, no, I'm going to get through this physical challenge first, because cutting alcohol out of my life will make me train better and harder and faster and be fitter. And then the last thing is, as I've hinted these last few points, what are you going to say to people? What words do you use? You could be totally honest. I am taking a break from alcohol, and I'm not drinking for this period. Or you might, you don't have to tell anyone anything. You could just say, no, thank you, I'm not going to drink. Or you could say, no, I'm doing this physical challenge since I've decided not to drink while I'm doing this challenge, and it's really important for me. And whatever level of explanation you feel comfortable with, people will understand, especially if there's a challenge involved. Now, it's very, very common. Why do this? I said to you at the beginning, the benefits to my life have been almost indescribable, but I'll try. The personal accomplishments through the roof. I got my MBA, which I'd wanted for years. I got a coach's license. I got promoted at work to a job that I love. I got a motorbike license. I'm speaking German again because I love it and I've got time. I'm journaling, I'm writing. That's for me personally. For my family, I think a better dad. I'm certainly more present because I'm not distracted by alcohol and kind of, you know, making plans around it. I'm a better husband. I'm fitter, as I mentioned. The heart rate, resting heart rate has dropped right down. You can see it happening. Um, I told you one of the things I was worried about was my weight, and I've got that under control. Um, and I got really perversely, I got the achievement of not drinking. So quitting drinking became something difficult that I did, and I feel good about. So that's another benefit. Now, let's get real. Not everything happens at once. Not all of that will happen to you. Depends on what you want to do. So make it clear what's important and why you're doing it and track how much better it's getting. Note how many hours you sleep. Note what physical challenge you're trying to do and what it is that what your lap time is or whatever measure you could put on it is. And I guarantee you over time, you will see some improvements. Ask people that you know best what they notice about you over time. Again, for me, my sleep improved, my ability to not let what happened to me affect my mood, not lose my temper. All of that greatly, greatly improved after I stopped drinking. Um, I'm more present for everyone. Um, Now, you immediately, though, think, when you think about taking a break, you immediately think about objections. Oh, I've got a meeting with a friend next week. Got a birthday party. Oh, there's a happy hour this week with my colleagues. Oh, I've got a steak dinner booked and I love red wine with steak. Whatever. Your brain will immediately throw these objections in. Meeting a friend. One of my friends now, whenever we meet each other, we don't live in the same country. Whenever we meet each other, we would previously have drunk. Now we meet for gym sessions and we talk while we're working out. The quality of the conversation is so much better, and we remember it all. So all of those things you can accomplish without alcohol. You can go and eat a steak; it'll taste better without the wine that you think is essential. The wine is numbing your taste buds. But the wine is meaning you can't taste the steak. If you don't like the steak without the wine, you don't like the steak. That's it. You are numbing yourself and kidding yourself. Anyway, I can talk to you more about the effects of that if you'd like. So the reality is drinking seems fun. It helps us relax because of that numbing, anesthetic effect. It feels like a social lubricant. It offers us a very, very fast way to relax into a social situation. There's all these words, swift pint, a cheeky half, one for the road. Like it sounds fun. The reality is, in all of these scenarios, it's the company that's fun. It's the people that you're laughing with. If you don't believe me, take the amount of alcohol you would drink on a fun night out. 2 pints, 3 pints, 5 pints, whatever. Line it up on a kitchen table, phone down, TV off, and just drink those pints without anybody. And tell me how much fun that was. I'm telling you, if you last till the end, you realize it's not the drink, it's the people. Um, so what's next? Take a challenge. Like I said, please get in touch. Send me an email. I'd love to hear from you and talk about this. Decide whether sober October or dry July or um, an upcoming marathon gives you that moment, a time-based moment that you can work towards. Remember, no thank you is a complete sentence. No thank you. It doesn't take more than twice for someone to get that you don't want an alcoholic drink. Here's a word of caution. Change is difficult. Whatever it is you decide to do as part of this change, easy to commit. It's very easy to slip up. And that is no problem. And you don't have to punish yourself and you don't have to finish your challenge if you slip. Let's say you decide to do 30 days on day 5, day 10, day 20. Let's say you get tempted, you forget, you make a mistake, you get a big drink of alcohol. That doesn't have to be the end of it. You can get back on the challenge immediately. And if you did 29 out of 30 days, that's better than not doing any of those days. But don't be hard on yourself. Don't assume perfection and do it your way. I'm not anti-alcohol. I am pro-choice. And I want as many people as possible to understand the reality of drinking, the potential benefits when you stop drinking. And I just want to tap as many people as I can on the shoulder and say, you don't have to drink today. Thank you.